What is?
It's January. It is Saturday, the 20-something, 27th, I believe, 28th.
The most important part, though, it's Saturday.
It's Saturday, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
And it's beautiful, and I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for you guys to be here. I'm glad you guys decided to listen. I'm glad you decided to like.
I hope you guys can see the palm trees in the background. I don't know. Can you see? Can you see? Can you spot anything?
It feels like London out here today.
It's cold as fuck.
It's cold as a bitch.
For sure.
But yeah, we wanted to talk about maintaining healthy relationships. Maintaining and establishing and maintaining healthy relationships.
Right. So, a good example that I can give you from a personal experience of mine of why relationships or maintaining relationships, healthy relationships are important, is because some years back I was in a... You guys are going to hear a lot of these stories about my relationship a lot, so just be prepared for that. But I had a relationship that I got really deep into, to the point where I kind of lost myself, my sense of self. I lost all my cool. Let's say it like that, I lost my cool, right?
Yes, he did.
I lost my cool, I lost who I was, sense of who I was, sense of style, sense of personality.
He was real moody.
And I lost my relationship.
He was real bitchy.
I lost my personal relationships, right? Connection with all those people, friendships and shit like that. And yeah, I lost that. And what I'm trying to get at is that through the loss of those friendships that I had, outside of that relationship, that romantic relationship that I had, is what made me lose. Well, I think essentially what led to me losing myself, my sense of self, through the loss of those friendships. And I lost those friendships because of the fact that I got so entwined in that relationship I was with her, right? I picked up a lot of her ways and adopted a lot of her ways and her friends, who were actually never my friends anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is that through losing those friendships and those connections with other people, I lost a sense of who I was. And that's just one good example of why you should always maintain healthy relationships outside of your romantic relationship, right? Or just in general, keep relationships anyway. Just keep healthy relationships, because through that loss of that is how I lost myself. Once you lose yourself, it just goes deeper down the rabbit hole.
So you're saying you lost that relationship because you lost your relationship to yourself?
I lost the relationship to myself through losing relationships of outside people. I should have maintained healthy friendships, because that's what it does is it maintains a separation. The boundary, I should say, not separation. Let me not use separation. It maintains that boundary, right, that you need in a relationship. And I didn't have any boundaries. Everything just blended in. I didn't feel like I didn't have a sense of individualism anymore. I wasn't an individual anymore. So losing those connections to relationships outside of my relationship is what I'm trying to say, is what made me lose the relationship to myself. Right? So it was unhealthy.
Yeah.
That's just one good example of how it's just not a good thing, right? So I don't know what are other ways, other reasons why you should maintain healthy relationships.
Reasons why you should maintain them?
Right.
I mean, for one...
We'll get into how later, but why?
Why is because, I think it gives you a sense of purpose. I think the reason for maintaining healthy relationships is because it gives you a sense of purpose. It gives you a reason to want to keep growing, keep doing more. And I mean all types of different. It could be business, friendships, romantic relationships. That's one good reason to try to do that. Because I know that I've been in this space before where I was on my hermit shit, didn't really deal with too many people, and just stayed in my own little world.
Right.
And that's cool for so long, but after a while, I don't think it's normal or healthy for a human being to be on this planet and to be completely disconnected from the rest of the world around them for too long, because I think that is one of the reasons why we're here,
For sure.
to connect with those around us, you know. So I think that's just one good reason why it's good. It's good for your mental health, you know, to maintain some healthy relationships in your life, you know.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I want to throw that part in there too. I didn't let that part of the story out. That I definitely became more of a hermit, and I'm not usually that. I'm a very social person. So I mean, I have my moments, of course. I'm like on some super antisocial shit, but it just got to extreme where I was mostly antisocial and I became a hermit. I wasn't in the house very much. I wasn't outside very much. I was in the house a lot. So, and that's also part of what I mean by maintaining your healthy relationships. Because it was unhealthy, you know, to do that. I separated myself from the outside world, and boy, was that a bad idea.
Yeah, man. Shit, you get depressed and shit. It can lead to depression.
I was very depressed.
You know, have you feeling lost? You know,
I was very lost.
It'll have you just on some like just imbalance, you know, altogether, because if all you see is these little four walls, so to speak, that's all you're gonna know for a while. And I don't think, you know, I just don't think it's healthy. I have to keep saying that. I just don't think that's what we're here to do.
Right.
It just doesn't feel natural.
For sure. Definitely here to connect.
Yeah.
With as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Well, ways you can do that. There's a lot of different ways. In our society, we've got one really popular one now. It's always been, I won't say now, but it has been for a long time, but becoming even more popular. It's through the internet, you know, through the use of technology. You know, we've got apps, we got dating apps, we got social media platforms of all types,
Right.
cameras on all the phones, you know what I mean? Like, it's always, and laptops, you know, we got all these different things that we can connect with people, you know. So connecting with people is one major way of how you can start getting yourself out there and establishing some connections.
There you go. That's a good example.
With the world around you.
Right.
You could use the internet if you're a person that can't leave the house or just doesn't want to leave the house.
Right.
If you're one of those, just one way to put your baby toe in the water,
Right.
and test and see what's going on
Right.
out there in the world. Get on the internet.
Make a social media post about
Say
it.
social media post. Stop being a pussy.
Right.
Get out there. Put yourself out there. That's the new way, you know. That's the age we in, the digital age.
I've actually did that before. I've done that before, and actually met a few people that was in a town. You know, at the time I think I was visiting or some shit. Made a quick little post about basically just trying to hook up and have some drinks with some people, make some friends. And as corny as I kind of thought it was at the time that I was doing it, it actually worked, and I was glad I did it. You know, because I really thought it was kind of weird to make a social media post about wanting to meet friends and shit. I thought it was kind of making me look weird, you know, but shit worked out.
And sometimes it beats like that.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I'm not one to say I'm lonely. I don't really believe a person can really be lonely or alone, I'll say. But I do understand how people, what I should say is I understand how people could feel alone. I really do. I've been in some spaces like that in my times where I'm just, you know, like I said, being in my own world. And you just feel like, you know, the lack of connection makes you feel like you're the only person going through what you're going through.
For sure.
And it's a very alone feeling. But I think that's one of the reasons why it's healthy to go out there and seek some type of connection with people out there, because it can bring people together in that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it is detrimental to a person for their emotional well-being if you don't find a connection with other people around you after a while.
For sure.
I believe so. I know from experience.
Yeah, once again, I went through that situation when I first moved to St. Louis. I had him, but he had his own life at the time. He had a lot going on with the child and shit like that. So I spent a lot of time by myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the first time, I think at that time, first time ever where I actually felt what people describe as lonely, you know? I used to hear that and be like, I don't know what that feeling is. I have no idea what that feels like. But I finally started to feel what that felt like, you know? And I hesitated a long time to try to reach out and try to connect with other people, but I'm glad I did. But yes, it's a very unhealthy thing to always be by yourself that much, especially for you people who work at home a lot, who work remote. Pay attention to that.
Right.
You know, I work from home a lot too, and it's just telling you, it's a slippery slope. We'll say that. You know, there are people who love being homebodies, as they say. Yeah, being a homebody's cool, but only for so long, because eventually that shit can get real lonely. You know, it's good to have time to yourself and think to yourself, but eventually you want to express those thoughts with somebody else, right? And not to yourself.
Yeah, you be coming up with dope ass ideas. You know what? Also, then you be like, oh shit, ain't nobody over
here.
here.
To tell it to. I've done that many times,
too,
right?
Bro,
where you got a great song idea, you be like, I just thought about this one song.
But ain't nobody there to tell it to. Oh, like, goddamn,
right?
I need a girlfriend.
Right? That's right, right?
Fuck.
Real shit.
But no, real shit though. That's why, you know, it's not only it's not healthy to just to seek them, but we want to maintain a healthy one too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by maintaining a healthy one, is creating boundaries.
Right.
Creating those boundaries, knowing those boundaries, and respecting those boundaries.
For sure.
From both ends.
Nah, we're good, bro. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. That's what's up. But you know, maintaining boundaries, you know, and creating those boundaries and respect them, like I said. You do that by just establishing, you know, well, either with yourself or another person that whatever that relationship may be, whatever that boundary would be, whatever makes you uncomfortable, I guess, you know. Just whatever, it may be just not your speed. What if the other person may have a whole different speed of how they move and how they operate?
Right.
You gotta maintain that boundary. Let them know, like, this is too far for me. This ain't really my thing. You know.
Yeah, that was another thing that I lacked is I had boundaries, but I didn't express that need for boundaries. I didn't tell that person that I needed those boundaries. So part of that was on me. But so it's a good reminder. Don't do what I did. Let them know you need boundaries in those relationships that you're in, whether it be your girlfriend, boyfriend, or fucking wife, husband, especially wife, husband, family members. Let them know you need boundaries in those relationships, right? That's how you maintain healthy relationships. Let them know you need boundaries. Don't hesitate on doing that.
And respect those boundaries.
I mean, respect them for sure.
Another way to maintain it would be is to be a good communicator.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, be a good talker. Just don't be afraid to speak. You know, you have to be a little bit more assertive. If you're not a person that talks much, you're gonna have to come outside of your comfort zone. You might have to get out here, walk around, and go see people. Right. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Right. Go out here and talk to people.
Matter of fact, I challenge you to do that today. Yeah. On this fine Saturday.
That you don't know. People that you don't know.
Talk to somebody you do not know.
Yeah.
See what happens.
You know what I'm saying? Just say hi. Right. Or anything that you can find in common. Don't, you know, it's not as crazy as you may think.
You never know where that might lead you to.
Chances are, there's really a lot of people out here really connect just like you want to. That's the truth.
Looking to do it.
There's people out here want to be connected with just as bad as you want to connect to.
Right.
They just ain't saying it, just like you ain't.
Right.
But you got to get out there. You got to put yourself out there. You got to get out of your comfort zone. So talk to people. Establish that connection right there alone. You know what I'm saying?
Ways to do it. If you're standing in line at the grocery store, strike up a conversation. Something simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're at the bus stop today, talk about something on the bus. Anything. The point is, make some type of connection. You know, and do it more often. And that's one good way for you business people out there. That's one good way to kind of build your network. Something simple like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the real world. I ain't talking about online. I'm talking about in the real world. The easy way to build your network is just starting conversations, everyday conversations with people.
About real life shit.
About real life shit, right. You never know that could be a potential customer.
Yeah.
Or a best friend.
Exactly. You never know what you may come into, you know?
Yeah.
You might make a really good friend out here just talking to someone and sharing your ideas like we're doing here with you guys.
Right.
Which reminds me, you guys would be very much appreciated if you guys connect with us and communicate. You know, let us know what you think about all this.
Leave comments.
What ideas do you have about how do you go about connecting with people?
Right, because I honestly, back when I was trying to connect, I could have used that kind of advice from somebody. How do you do it? Because I was stumped at the time. How do you do some shit like that? Say like you're a new person moving to a new city. What would you do to strike up a conversation? What would you do to start a relationship with somebody? What would you do? Leave the comments. Let us know. Also, make sure to subscribe, because subscription is the only or the best way to keep us connected to you.
Sure. So you could, you know, get out there and talk to people, but don't just be a good talker, be a good listener.
even more of a good listener.
A lot of people listen, they think they're listening, but especially in relationships, I've noticed, I've seen in my own life, and I've, seen in other people's lives that they think they're listening, but listening to them isn't the same thing as listening, like being engaged into the convo.
Right.
Like when you're engaged, it's true listening is when you're listening to what they're saying. You might even add a, oh yeah, or you might, you could pretend that shit too, but if you're really listening and you heard what they said, and they said, I don't know, fucking black Nikes, so you're like, oh yeah, I fucks with Nike,
Right.
something like that. That's how you maintain, but it helps maintain a good communication.
Right. An exchange.
An exchange.
Right.
That's what a conversation is, an exchange.
Right.
But you have to be a good listener as well.
Right.
So, making good eye contact throughout the conversation. This works within business relationships. This works within friendships. This works within your mom and your dad. This works with teacher and student. This works with relationships, romantic relationships, eye contact. There's a lot to be said with eye contact. I can tell if you're bullshitting me. I can tell if you're being honest. I'm gonna know, So, eye contact. Be a good communicator all the way around. Not
Side
just
note,
talking.
how do you feel about people who don't make eye contact?
It's a good
I
question.
want to know, because to me, it throws me off. I don't trust you right off the bat.
Yeah.
You can't make eye contact when you're speaking to somebody. I feel like,
It's hard to connect with them.
there is no connection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't take you serious, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, leave a comment, let me know how you feel about that, because I always feel weird and wary about people who don't make eye contact when they speak.
Yeah.
As a side note, sorry.
But so be a good communicator when it comes. If you want to, that would help you maintain a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of a healthy relationship also requires you to be patient, because everybody moves at their own speed.
Right.
So just because the person that you just met and you told them how you feel about them and they don't reciprocate the same thing, the same way that you think they would, doesn't mean they're not on your page. Doesn't mean they're not feeling you necessarily,
Or that they're not understanding you.
or they're not understanding you.
Right.
It just means that they're at their own pace. So that requires you to have patience, and don't judge. As a matter of fact, if you're so impatient that you just want to move on or just disengage, which you're welcome to do, but that's also a good indicator that you're probably not ready to even engage in some type of relationship with a person, because all relationships require patience to some degree, if you ask me, in my opinion.
Very true. Very true. And depending on the relationship, one can be more challenging than the other, as we know. I'm not a father, but from what I heard, there's some of the most challenging relationships are between the parent and kid. And you need a lot of patience for that.
Yep.
That's what I've heard.
Another one I can think of is vulnerability. Not only being vulnerable, but exhibiting vulnerability. It allows you to really understand you. It shows them who you are, and then maybe puts their guard down, so you guys can have a better chance of seeing eye to eye, meeting at a level ground. You know what I mean?
It's true.
It puts their guard down, and in turn helps you put yours down. That way you come off from a more honest place.
It's true.
Sometimes we put up charades out of fear, out of protection, so that we're not really giving our true self. So all I'm saying is, be your true self when you want to establish good relationships, healthy relationships in your life.
And display your true self up front at first. Don't bring it in later, because I gotta say I've dealt with that before through romantic relationships and friendships. You got to see the true side later. I say, if you want a healthy relationship and want to maintain that, show your true self up front the first time.
Yeah.
First impression.
Have no shame in your game.
Right.
Love yourself, man. That's what we're coming back down to, man. Maintain some balance about yourself. Love yourself, because this is what it all comes down to. Self-love. Everything we're talking about, everything we spoke about today, it all comes down to that first. You gotta love yourself, yo.
As a reminder, make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscription button. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Please leave some comments, because we want to communicate with you. We want to know how you feel about it. We don't just be talking. I want to know what you feel, right? This is exchange of conversation.
Yeah.
So
maintain them healthy relationships. Do it for yourself and do it for the ones that you love and the situations that you respect. Cherish that. Respect it. Maintain some healthy boundaries. All right? All right.
Sad.
I love myself. I love y'all. Love yourself for yourself. I'll let you.
All right.